been a while since I've made a video, and I've just been under the weather and it's raining outside, pouring. But I'm gonna try to do this really quick for any of those that have been watching my videos. And my female Chloe, which was, I've kind of give you a progression after her pre-lay shed all the way up to about 18 days. Well, I got the rest of the way. She laid her clutch in it was January 29th, and she had about 55 eggs. It was 55, 16 slugs. That's why I say about 55. 39 good eggs. Ones went bad, and you can kind of tell when it goes bad because it starts looking green, yellowish, smelly. It's not like the rest of them. So I'm going to show you the rest of the way and what led up, so that you guys also are familiar with, if this is your first time, what your snake might be doing and how this looks, because several times I was worried about her. I didn't know, I wasn't familiar with the process, and it's not everyone is willing to just answer your questions, and I am grateful. I can message John West at any time, and he always usually will respond right away and let me know what's going on. Great guy to talk to, great guy to buy from as well. And so I will show you that. I do have, there's a small video in there where it shows her laying an egg, and she did drop an egg the day before, and I've been told that that's to make room in case she does have a lot of eggs. And she's about 17 and a half feet, and 55 eggs might be a bit much for a girl that big. I don't know. I've never bred retics. But one thing I do want to show you guys is Galaxy. And she is a female cow, and she is 2 years old. She's about 12 feet. I gotta clean her cage up. But she is, once you see her tongue flicking around like that, she's stinking. She knows I'm not food. She came out kind of quick. She's stinking right now. I'm gonna let her continue to think. And there she goes. I could go ahead and tap her with a hook, but these snakes are smart, and you don't really have to. I mean, it's good to train them that way, yes, but they're smart, and this girl is just absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's not very common to find cows that are. She's roughly about 11 feet and 12 feet. She has some nose rub and a little bit on her face. She's getting ready to go in the shed, and she's been pushing that side on the divider, trying to get to the other side. Sometimes there's digestive issues with cows, and a lot of cows don't make it past a year old. And you might not hear that all the time, but this is technically a blue-eyed leucisticus with some paradoxing happening here, and the other genes beneath are coming through. And most leucistics do have some form of issues, or they've had some. And I think what I found is a success that works very well, just my estimation, but my observation as well, is that a Lucy, if you have 20 Lucies and 19 die, but one makes it, the one that made it possibly has something that defies the issue. And so when you breed a cow, which is her mother's a cow, to another hog, you get a cow that doesn't have the same problem, or on a ratio doesn't have, I mean, I don't know how many animals survived out of that litter, but this animal is gorgeous, and she's very mellow, she's chill, she's the nicest snake I know. I could open this glass, put him in here, and she'll just watch me and watch what I'm doing, and usually she'll come out. She just hangs out right there in her cage. And this is an 8-foot by 3-foot enclosure. I have a divider in it because I want to make sure that she settles in really well. I bought her from Julian Medina, who got her from Nerd. And obviously, Nerd produces a lot of cows. They have a lot of adult cows that produce cows. And, well, a lot of times, a lot of people all over are producing cows that aren't really as viable. They're not surviving. The mortality rate isn't really the best. But not that this show's about cows. I just want to show her off for a minute. All right, come on, Galaxy. Come on, baby. And she has a little rubbing around her eye here. She's just pushing. But she eats fine. She has no issues eating. She has no issues digesting food. There's no problem. I mean, she can eat two. I haven't pushed her on the guinea pigs or anything because the previous owner did not have her on guinea pigs. Yeah, they're on two extra large rats. So that's what I'm doing. I'll work her into something else, but she'll eat both of them out. She'll poop them out, you know, 7 days later without a problem. No anything. She's great, fantastic. But like I said, this video is about eggs and the pooling and what I learned. I also learned that, yeah, they go into like a trance while they're laying eggs, but it's better to let her lay her eggs. I mean, you ever play what's that game where you're the doctor and you're sitting there and you're pulling operation? That's the game. Well, if you sit there and you actually nudge her, she could stall out and then not want to lay her eggs and think it's not safe to lay her eggs, and you're convinced her of that. So the best thing to do is let her lay her eggs. When she's done and she's not pushing anything else and it looks like it's all over, then you can kind of get in there. And what I did is I didn't know how she was going to be. During her whole, what's it called, gestation period, the whole entire time, she is just, leave me alone. Her whole attitude was, leave me alone. And so what I did is I got a tub lid and I put a handle on it, and let me show you what that is. It's a Sterilite tub, not that big, and I put a handle on it, and I just use this to push her head just away a little bit while I could see the eggs, and I could pull them off. Now, when you're pulling off the eggs and you're pulling eggs and you're taking eggs off, whatever you want to call it, you've watched Jay Brewer on Prehistoric Pets Pull Eggs several times. If you haven't, you should check it out. Very informative. And one of the things that you don't want to, I mean, people talk about the orientation of the egg. I didn't know about the orientation. I knew that the egg had to be, when you separate it from the pile, whatever end was up had to be up. That's true. Some people think that the minute it's laid, that's the time to make sure it stays that way. Well, you have to remember that as it comes out like a soft jelly bag. And it's not really, I don't know, for lack of better words, maybe, I mean, a boob. But needless to say, when it comes out, it's pretty soft and wet-like. And so after a while, it starts to kind of harden and take a little bit. I mean, you could still smash it if you were stupid and squeezed it. I mean, don't do that. I mean, I don't want to do that. You want to make an omelet there. Reptile eggs work so hard. She works so hard. But the thing about it is they'll start to stick together. And once they start to dry and stick together, you want to take a note of the orientation. You do that by writing a number on the highest point. Because when you separate them, you want to sit there and put them into your incubation box with that highest point at the highest point. And so they're kind of like, when you're pulling them apart, it kind of feels like, I want to say leather. It's really hard to describe, but it feels like it's like paper-like, and it's kind of stiff like paper. It kind of come off like paper tearing, paper mache kind of tearing away from something. But yeah, like paper that's been glued, and so you're kind of ripping that, and if it starts to rip on one end, you see the egg start to rip, you're gonna have to come from the other way, and just, you know, be gentle and pulling them apart. If you just kind of pull and hold, they kind of start to come apart slowly. And if they do roll away, look at some videos about candling eggs, and that's when you put a light, you go into a really dark room, you get a flashlight and you light it on one end, and you kind of see like a mass on the bottom if it's that far along, or the veins start going up, and you'll be able to tell. Hopefully they'll be able to tell you exactly how the egg should go based off that. Needless to say, I was able to pull her eggs. She laid the 55 eggs, 16 slugs. One's gone bad, and that's all right. The rest are good, and they're really strong, good veins in there. But I want to show you the videos so you can see what to expect as your snake, your retic, progresses down this gestation period to laying. And like I said, I have a video showing about day 5 to day 18. This will be the rest of the way, all the way to laying eggs. And one other thing before I show you that, when I took her eggs from her, she looked pretty sad. She looked pretty like lost. It was like someone had ripped her eggs away. And I mean, I felt bad for her, you know. And Not this, but she does that. I mean, you have to remember. Well, some people say snakes don't feel. Snakes don't feel. Well, I got a snake that comes to me when I call them, and snakes, and by instinct, they go ahead and they coil around their eggs. Whatever you want to say. Her eggs weren't there, and she was trying to coil around them. And the reason that is as well is because she smells the eggs, and in order to be able to get her to eat, because she looked pretty thin after this, I had to take her out. I had to soak her for, I don't know, I soaked her probably a good 20, 25 minutes. And I went in here and I cleaned her entire cage with diluted brown Listerine. Just cleaned it completely, let it dry, put down new newspaper. I used newspaper, and put her back in. A couple days later, she was eating. Up until then, she didn't want nothing. All she did was coil and try to protect her coils. And I thought maybe there might be a couple eggs in there. What if there's another egg or something? Maybe she's protecting it. It wasn't that. I talked to John West, and like I said, great guy to work with, great guy to talk to you, great guy to buy from. And he let me know, just, you're going to have to soak her because she's smelling the eggs. And absolutely true. She ate 2 days later, and she's on her way back to normal. She just shed out, and that's the shed that she got from after being, so huge. So anyways, watch these videos, or watch these, because they're clips. So watch these clips, and there's a couple of photos in there, and hopefully it'll help you, help each other. Help each other, because there really isn't a whole lot of people out there doing retics. I mean, you see some over the years, but when you start looking, look at morph market, there isn't a whole lot up for sale. It might be the weather, but maximum, what you might see at the most 400. Well, look at ball pythons, there's a ton. And we got to learn to be able to help each other, encourage other people to want to participate in what we're doing. Sometimes you ask a question on a forum or a group chat, and not a group chat, but on a group like I have mine on a Retic Nation, and you'll ask a question, or a new guy will ask a question, and everyone jumps on it, and they just, we don't all live together. I don't know you like that. You don't know them like that. Don't answer them like that. I mean, put it in the best possible way. And I'm not saying dress your stuff up, your words up with sugar, and I'm not saying any of that. But damn, talk to somebody in a way that they want to continue, encourage them to want to do something about, learn, get down the hobby instead of turning around and walking away. Because if there's no one else to participate in this hobby, who's going to be left? I mean, if we dwindle down to nothing, and we keep on running off any potential hobbyists along, there's going to be nothing left. And if these animals are gone, we can't bring any more into the United States. So just think about that, the way you answer, just think about that. I mean, it doesn't take a long time, because it doesn't take a lot of effort to talk to someone in a different way. Encourage somebody. Anyways, watch these videos. I'm here to help somebody. If you have some questions, comment down below, and I will do the best to answer you. If I don't have an answer, I will try to find an answer. And I did build these cages, and yes, they are kind of dirty. And I got 2 breeding up there, and I got 2 breeding on the bottom, and I got this little beautiful girl right here. So, anyways, thank you for watching. You can see how thick she is. Put my hand on her like this. You can see just about how big she is. It's pretty thick. All right, she is. Let's see, it's 23rd, 5 days out from 30 days after shed. If you can see her side right there, it's huge. It's bulging. She's really thick back there, and she is uncomfortable as hell. She just cannot find a spot. Her box is over here. I gotta make that smaller, because I was thinking that she would need 30 by 30 because she takes up so much space. But right now, either she has some kind of shit stuck in her nose and she's really upset and irritated over it, or this is just too much. This is the first time this girl's been bred, and etc. It's 30 days will be 5 days from now. So anywhere from between 5 and 15 days, we should see some eggs. And you can see the nice scale separation through the dirty glass. But yeah, she's just all over the place. 25 days after pre-lay. All right, so this is day 30 after the pre-lay shed. She's all twisted in knots, and if your girl looks like this, it's most likely, you know, you're on the right track. If you can hear, I'm gonna try to be silent, so you can hear her breathing. So if you could hear that, it's just you know, I guess it's labored breathing due to the fact that she's so swollen and everything. And she wants nothing to do with the egg laying box there. So she definitely is not interested in that egg laying box. But we are at 32 days after pre-lay shed, and she looks pretty thick. The rest of her looks rather thin based off the fact that she hasn't eaten in about, I'd say about 2 months. She wants nothing to do with food. You can see how thick she is. Put my hand on her here like this. You can see just about how big she is. It's pretty thick. Chloe just laid her very first egg, and there it is right there. Her tail is up, and she is ready to go. That egg is beautiful. Perfect in every way. Literally right before this started happening, she looked very similar to the way they work down food once they swallowed it and they're working it down their body. Well, she looked like she was working something down towards the end of her vent, and you could see certain areas of her stomach kind of like twitching, and here it is. Okay. I dropped it. I can't see it in the camera.